You ever feel like you just have to get your side of the story out in an argument or a misunderstanding? If I could just tell you my side of the story, then we could resolve this and be on the same page and everything would make sense. Yeah, I think we're all guilty of that. But it seems like part of the maturing process in life, especially becoming emotionally healthy, is sometimes it's best to just keep our mouths closed, and less is best sometimes in some of those situations. Hi, I'm Pastor Andrew. Thank you so much for continuing to join us in this Gospel of Mark devotional series. This idea comes to mind as we read Mark 15, which is where we're at. We're ending this devotional series, and here we are in Mark 15. We just finished a little bit of Mark 14, where Jesus has been betrayed by one of his disciples, Judas, and then he's handed over to the council, the Sanhedrin, the religious leaders, who really don't have the authority to kill another Jewish individual. That was saved for the Romans. It was part of a Roman strategy when they conquered nations. It was a Roman penalty of death, and crucifixion was not even levied on Romans for the most part, unless it was an extreme case of treason or certain situations like that. But the point that I want to make here is, as we end 14 and we get into 15, we see that there is these accusations that are brought before Jesus. You read about this in all four Gospels. But Jesus never answers, even though they are a mess. I mean, this is an absolute train wreck of a trial, so to speak, where they bring Jesus in and they're just literally trying to find something that would be substantial enough from their custom and their law and abilities and jurisdiction to take to Pilate on behalf of Rome and say, this Jesus is breaking all these rules, and he's trying to lead an insurrection, or he's trying to cause these troubles so that they can justify asking him to be put to death. But the trial is a mess. In fact, there's a good little book I would recommend. It's called The 6 Trials of Jesus, and the author dives into that a little more of the context and the history and how really a train wreck these trials were, and illegal. I mean, you'll notice that Jesus was before the Sanhedrin in the middle of the night. I mean, what are they even doing? They're trying to hide what it is that they're doing. But in the midst of these false accusations, and are you this and are you this, Jesus speaks very little. And then in Mark 15, at the beginning of Mark 15, the first 5 verses, we see that when Pilate, this person who has serious authority in Roman understanding, he's asking Jesus a couple questions, and Jesus really doesn't answer at all. In fact, Pilate's amazed that he keeps silent. And I think even that aspect holds true. Now, there's so much more at work here, because this is Jesus, the Son of God. What I mean by this holds true is that he's amazed because we wouldn't be able to keep our mouth closed, right? We would be saying, well, let me explain the situation. These testimonies don't even align, or I never did those things, or that doesn't make any sense. I have 3 young boys, and there's a couple of my children that just, it pains them if they're not able to explain their side of the story. This something happened and it was just a bad decision. Even if the way that I saw it isn't exactly how it happened, the ball exactly hit that cup on that side of the counter, details. Kids are so literal sometimes, it's pretty funny. But it's this explanation. Well, let me tell you what was going on. We're guilty of that, aren't we? So something to think about. I mean, even the King of the universe, who had every right and ability to say something and to stop the proceedings, decided to keep his mouth quiet, fulfilling prophecy, yes. But man, what an example in a terrible situation for him to just remain silent and stay on task and stay on mission. And sometimes that's a good lesson for us too. It's easy for us to get distracted with arguments politically or socially, where it derails us. Now, some of them are just causes, and there's wisdom where we have to jump in and engage. But you know what I'm saying? Hopefully that there are some times where we can just sort of be sidelined because we're so distracted. But stay the course and stay the mission. And sometimes that means remaining silent. We'll see you next time.